if you're following a crowd, chances are you're heading in the wrong direction. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 4 of Mishpatim. And we're going to venture into chapter number 23. And from that chapter, in verse number 2, we read, "Do not follow a crowd to do evil, nor bear witness in a strife, so as to turn aside after many, to turn aside what is right." Not turn aside after what is right, but to turn aside what is right. That is, to take what is right and turn it away. Crowds. Everybody wants to be accepted. Everyone wants to be a part of the mainstream of things, to be considered normal, to be considered on the right side. It's a frustrating thing, and I've been there, to be in a sports stadium watching a ball game, and you are the visitor. The home crowd is huge, and the visitor crowd is very small. The other side out yells you, out rah-rahs you, and you're in enemy territory. It's an uncanny feeling. However, Yeshua warned us. He said that the crowd would be headed in the wrong direction. Broad is the way, he said, and many will follow it and lead to destruction. But there is a straight, narrow path that leads to a small gate, and few there be that find it. My dad taught me the love of being the underdog. He always seemed to pull for a team that had little chance of winning, but he gave it all that he had in trying to help them to win. I've tried to learn the same thing. And for most of my life, in many situations, I have been considered an underdog. But I believe in fighting to the very last to try to win. Those things aside, you cannot just will your way to the front. You have to find out through careful examination and through careful prayer what is the true, genuine, truthful way that is right, and walk in that path regardless of how it leads against the grain and the trends. In this nation, it has been obvious for some number of years, for 10, 20 years at least, that those who are the propagandists, the talking heads that show up on the nightly news broadcast, those who are writers for well-accepted news magazines and periodicals, those who have powerful websites, they seem to be trying to bait us for a war of some type, any type, to try to reduce this particular nation down to a state of rubble. I don't know exactly what their advantage would be, what it is that they're trying to accomplish, other than they're trying to neutralize the power and significance of the United States in order to bring about a more world and global agenda. Perhaps, but I don't want to get into conspiracy theories, so we'll leave it at that. So we had events like Ferguson and various racial profiling shootings that have taken place over the last number of years. To listen to those that were on the news agenda broadcast, you would have thought that sides would have been lining up and ready to go to war immediately. Thus far, we have not gone to that level. Then we've come to the political wars. It would seem that politics has gone way up in aggravation and racial profiling and rhetoric. And so now we have this incredible divide in this nation. Not where people just have a different way of looking at things, but filled with hate, where the words that are used are demeaning and destructive. And again, it would seem that the sides are lining up as if they're going to war. Here in the state of Virginia, where I reside, not so far away, about an hour's drive roughly from where I live, the Virginia State Legislature, Senate, and government, they have gone to war over Second Amendment rights, the right to bear arms. And thousands upon thousands have already met at the state capitol once. And I can tell you that those who are for the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms greatly outnumber those that oppose that. It just hasn't shown up in the polls yet. But there is a very determined mindset that those who are trying to take away that particular right will not succeed to the place of shedding blood. Please pray with me that it does not come to that. This state has been a battleground, and too much blood has already been shed on our soil to this point already. Why go to this level of drama and dramatic words? As we approach the nearing of the coming of the kingdom and the appearance of our Messiah, Yeshua, I believe that the body of Messiah is going to be more and more ostracized. The Torah is very plain. Do not get in line with a bunch of angry people. Do not side yourself with those who are looking for violence. The writer of the Psalms warns us, do not lie in wait for blood, to take advantage of someone who is not suspecting you. No matter how the things divide, no matter what society says and does, our cause must be that of righteousness. When we read in the book of Revelation, chapter number 12 and chapter number 13, we see that there is a great divide between those who will follow after the dragon and his beast and its system, as opposed to those who are seeking to keep the testimony of Yeshua, to walk in his commands, even to the point of martyrdom and the giving of their lives. These days are not looked forward to, but we also understand that very likely they will indeed take place. And as things would appear, it would seem that they will take place in our day. Yeshua said this, love your enemies, bless those cursing you, do good to those hating you. Now, ideally, those who would walk in a Torah-based community, who are simply worshiping Yahweh to the best of their ability according to his word. We're not out looking to harm anyone. We're not looking to be obstinate. We're not looking to be suspicious in any area of our lives. We simply want to read the word and do what it says. So why would there be a problem? There are those that would oppose us for whatever reasons that they choose. They're not going to be logical or reasonable, but nonetheless, from the word, we understand that times are coming where the body of Messiah will be so rejected out of the midst of this current world society that we will be sought to be done away with. We stand in the way. Comments were made recently about one of the Democratic presidential candidates and their homosexual marriage relationship. Someone, in response to criticism of the candidate and this relationship, a Republican even said, I thought we were beyond this. I think this is no longer a matter to be considered. I don't think anyone even thinks about these things anymore. And yet you and I do. You and I would understand perhaps that this is not a right marriage situation, and it has to be spoken out against. Puts a bullseye on us. You and I need to understand that we are to love people and not hate them. Stand for righteousness, but love even those who seek to do harm to you. Until then, may Yah give us strength to endure. And until tomorrow, shalom.